silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Creeping through the twisted wood, echo shards where warriors stood. Just a breath, just a wish. No more war, no final fist. Wisdom whispers in the night. Strength in peace, no need to fight. Winners walk in soft embrace. No battle scars, no deadly taste. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease.
Whispers in the dead night fire, broken dreams and twisted wire. Darkness feeds on fierce desire, shadows creep, the flames grow higher. Owner graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed. Now my strength they can't avoid. Living past I'm forced to destroy. I suppose the blood they crave, spirits risen from the grave, clawing beasts the souls they save. I'll be fighting till I cave. Monsters hiding in my fears, bloody masks and deadly leers, fending off the painful jeers. Victory drowning in my tears. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed. Now my strength they can't avoid. Living past I'm forced to destroy. 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 Moonlit graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed. Now my strength they can't avoid. Living past I'm forced to destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy.
Okay. You should be able to hear me now. Sorry about that. Welcome to another Monday night Shattered World game design and discussion stream. Okay, Cat. Okay, I get it. Give me one moment, all. Yes, I get it. You're very loving. Hi. That is not what the audience wants to see. Get your ass out of the camera. All right. Welcome, everybody. Stay for the professionalism, as I always say. So tonight, what we're doing is something a little different. For the past couple weeks on Mondays, we've been working on and I've been going through the... Okay, you need to move, dude. Sorry about that. We've been working on the different maps for our upcoming beginner box for the Shattered World. Today, every good beginner box needs a group of characters for you to play, so we're going to be working on those tonight. My goal when the game launches for the beginner box is to have one iconic character for each organization. So that is what we are going to start working on today. All right, you. All right. You going to let me type? Sorry, my cat is still right here. And we are still trying to work on the idea of working. I'm just a lonely guy. Give me one moment. All right. Yes, I can hear you purring. It's okay. So, when you are starting character creation, too many tabs. All right, so obviously player name I'm going to leave blank. For character concept, we know we want to do one character from each organization. Let me see. Can all of you see that? Yes, you can. Cool. So this is an older document. The one in the book will look much more professional than this. But this is one of the core documents that I'm working on. So the first thing we're going to want to do is switch to the organization. And of course you're opening it there and not where I need you to. All right. Okay, cat. Hey. Yes. We all know you're the star of the show, but you need to stop, dude. Come on. All right. That'll last about 15 seconds. Yay, cats. So, we'll start first things first, the Ardor of the White Eye. Again, just a heads up, this is a disclaimer for those of you who haven't been on my stream recently. All of the art you're going to see in this document is placeholder art. It is AI generated, but it's literally there. It's shit I downloaded as just a placeholder, and for the artists that I've hired to give them a better visual of what I'm looking for. So, Ardor of the White Eye, they tend to be the political movers and shakers of the world. They tend to be the intellectual type. They tend to be... The Ardor of the White Eye is basically the magical Illuminati. So, looking at the type of character that gets recruited by this organization, our bonus attribute is mental acuity, our bonus skill is knowledge, and then our merits are whatever it costs, wealth of magic, and political influence, which I will go over later. But this is very much the librarian type of character. They're the ones that know everything. So we are going to start with character concept. The age, height, weight, gender, we'll worry about that later. Probably going to leave that blank so that you have a little bit of customization when you make your character, at least, or when you choose one of the characters, at least visually. Or I may put it in, I haven't decided yet. But so, we've got our concept, the librarian. We already know the organization, but we'll get to that later. We know it's going to be Ardor of the White Eye. Step 1 is attributes. I am on the wrong tab. Hey! So, first step is attributes. You get 10 points. These scores range from 1, meaning you're inept, to 5, max human potential. So what I usually do to make it easier for me is I will set everything to 2, and then I will change what I feel I need to fit the character. So this is very much a book learning type dude. This is somebody who probably doesn't fight a lot, but they know everything. So we'll go ahead and raise their mental acuity by 1. And let's go ahead. They've spent a lot of time learning. They don't have as high endurance because, you know, book learning, not powerlifting learning. At this stage, none of your attributes can go above 3. That will change as we progress, but right now 3 is the most we can have. Hello, Jelly. Hey, do me a favor. Respond to what I'm saying right now, please. Absolutely no offense intended, but your comment very much strikes me kind of bottish. I apologize. We have a website. We have our socials linked. Please go ahead and click on those. I'm going to give you a minute or two to see if you respond. Again, no offense intended if you are real. I am by nature a pessimistic bastard. Sorry. Account created 26 minutes ago. You know, it's been a little bit since I've had to ban a bot. Yay, I'm getting popular again. So, whatever. Back to what we were talking about. I apologize for the delay. So, we've got our key attributes. 3 is the max we can go to right now. Important stats, these are done at the end. Ignore what's currently in there. This is long story, but God damn it, too many tabs. So after attributes, we've got skills. And rather than opening the tab, we've got them all right here. So we've got athletics, crafting, demolitions, empathy, evasiveness, firearms, handle animal, heal, intimidate, knowledge, leadership, linguistics, melee, perception, performance, persuasion, profession, ride, security, sleight of hand, stealth, streetwise, survival, technology, and vehicle use. So again, this is a character we see as a librarian. They're the ones that know things more than they break things. We have 15 points to spend. No skill can have more than 3 points assigned to it. So what I typically do is, again, I will pick 5 skills. And put a 3 in them. And then I will modify them as I think it fits the character. So, you'll also see here on the left, RSP. Very simply, all skills are divided into 3 tiers. If you have no ranks in a skill, no aptitude, you'll hear me often say ranks because that's just habit. Aptitude is what it's called in the Shattered World. If you have no aptitude in it, you are untrained. If you have 1, 2, or 3 ranks in it, you're considered a rookie. If you have 4, 5, or 6 ranks in it, you're considered a specialist. And if you've reached 7, which is max human potential for a skill, you're considered to have reached pinnacle. The best explanation I have for pinnacle, to give an example, say we're talking about the best composers of the 18th century, right? You and I may not agree if Beethoven or Bach top that list. But we all agree Beethoven and Bach are on that list. That's pinnacle. Right? If we are a 7 in athletics and I'm playing a basketball player, we may not agree that I'm better than Michael Jordan, but we all agree that when it comes down to talking about the best of all time, me and Jordan are in contention. Doop. Okay. So, again, I like to put a 3. So, this is, again, someone that tends to be very rich. They're from a powerful family. They've basically joined the magical Illuminati. So we'll go ahead and put 3 ranks in knowledge. We'll put 3 ranks in empathy, because empathy tends to be our resisting persuasion attempts, our figuring out what other people want, that kind of thing. We're going to give them 3 points of persuasion. We're going to put... So 1, 2, 3. We have at least 2 other skills. So what is important? They had to have done something for a living, so we'll go ahead and give them some craft. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1 more. Leadership. We're going to give them leadership. Now, are there any other skills that we want where we could take away from these? While they're born to rule, they're still trying to figure it out. They very much rely on their name more than their own leadership abilities. So we're going to knock their leadership down to 1. And then we are going to give them... Let's go ahead and give them a point in tech usage. And then let's give them a point. They did a lot of horseback riding as a kid. This librarian is a horse girl. So we've got a point there. Now we're going to go ahead. That's the other thing we want to do. So, I always try and give my character at least 1 point in a weapon skill. Even if they're not designed to fight, having basic self-defense is handy. So let's knock their empathy down a little bit. They know how to read people. They're good at figuring out what people want. But they're also really good at just bowling over. They know about it, but they don't give as much of a shit as they should. Let's give them a single point in firearms. They've done some basic self-defense classes. They know what a weaver stance is. So for now, let's go ahead and fill these out a little bit more. Tell you what, let's drop their crafting down to 2 and give them a rank in heal as well. One plus 1 is 3. So now we're going to go through and make sure you can be deleted for now. We want to make sure these are all accurate. 1 rank, that's rookie level. These are rookie numbers. And again, it's taking me a minute to do it right now. However, as I'm sure you can tell, it's because I'm deliberately doing it slow. Once you make your own character, especially after you've done it a time or two, it's a lot quicker. Character creation, I can knock out a character in 5-10 minutes. The hell was that? All right. Randomly, we got cool sound effects. All right. That's rookie, that's rookie, that's rookie, that's rookie, that's still rookie. That's nothing. That's going to be rookie and rookie. Cool. Now, when you put certain specialties, or God, English, certain skills have specialties. Firearms have firearm specialties. Crafts have craft specialties. Knowledge has knowledge specialties. And melee has melee specialties. When you put your first rank into one of these 4 skills, you automatically get a specialty for free. Now, right now, we are going to leave these blank until we get a little further along in character creation so that we can make sure we're taking ones that we want and that make sense. When you're making your own character, feel free to take them whenever you want. This is just for me. But we've got our 15 points spent. Let me verify it. Just make sure I'm not going crazy. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 13, 14, 15. None of them are over a 3, so we are good to go. Now, enhancement. As you've no doubt heard from other streams, from our other streams, all player characters are enhanced. You choose one enhancement. Which it looks like it finally opened where I wanted it to. Yes, it did. Yay! So, there are 5 enhancements. Each one gives you a bonus to 1 attribute. This will allow it to raise past that 3 limit. You pick one of these 3 merits and get one of these 2 flaws. So, your choices are sight. Your sense of sight improves. Individual with this enhancement report being able to see further away, being able to pick out fine details, etc., etc. I'm not going to read these off. You guys can read what's on the screen. I don't want to be that guy reading PowerPoint slides to you, but we've got sight, mind, touch, hearing, and soul. Soul is interesting. Mind is also very interesting. For our librarian character, all of these characters, again, these are beginner, iconic characters. We're not going to go into super power gaming with them. The goal for these is to help your players, your new players, get a good fundamental grasp of what's going on. So, we're going to go with mind. And it would be really awesome if I could click on the right tab. So scroll back up here. Our enhancement is mind. And then again, as a mind enhanced. So remember me earlier saying that your attributes could only go from 1 to 5, 5 being max human potential. Whatever your enhancement is, that associate attribute can go up to 6. So you are superhuman in that one category. Now again, the Shattered World, especially the first couple books, very much aim for that street level vibe. So you may be able to punch through a wall, for example, but you're not going to rip a building out of its foundation and use it as a baseball bat, right? Like, we're not Golden Age Superman in this game. We're not going to super sneeze and destroy solar systems. Oops. So, our attribute is +1 mental acuity, so let's go ahead and mark that. And then we get to choose between battle analysis, tracking, or ritualistic mind. So if we go back here, let's go to spending XP, let's go to merits, and then again, just making sure it popped up. Yes, it did. So battle analysis. This is our first option. Now, to go over merits real quick. When you're looking at a merit at the template, sorry about that. So, first line is obviously the name of the merit. This second line, tags. I'll go into this a little more in depth with normal merits, but basically your tags function as both prerequisites. So, for example, Arcane Sight up here has rookie knowledge as a possibility, or as a tag. In order to take this, I have to have the rookie level of knowledge. And the occult specialty. And the sight enhancement. I don't have the sight enhancement, so I cannot take Arcane Sight. Actions. This is how many actions it takes to activate the ability. Again, in the Shattered World, you gain actions based on one of your attributes. Gone are the days of D&D's standard action, move action, swift action, free action, Bob's action. We don't deal with that shit. You have anywhere from 1 to 4 actions. Range, how far away you can affect something. Area, basically how many people can be affected. One ally, self, 6 square radius, etc. Now, skill. As you can see here, base ability, specialist, pinnacle. Merits will have increased effects based on one of your skills, whether it's at the rookie level, the specialist, or the pinnacle level. This skill is what one you need to pay attention to access the specialist or pinnacle abilities. So, battle analysis is one of our choices. Our leadership is only a 1 for now. Now, we have a chance to raise that later, so we'll make a note of that. But we're at the rookie level. So, battle analysis has to be used on the first turn of combat. We spend 1 action to do it. 1 ally in range, so within 6 squares, gains a bonus to 1 check of their choice equal to our mental acuity. Our mental acuity right now is 4. So that's a hefty bonus. This bonus must be used before the beginning of your next turn or it's lost. If we make specialist in leadership, this ability can be used at any time in combat, once. So we're no longer restricted to the first turn, but we can still only use it one time per combat. If we hit 7 in leadership, that pinnacle level, you may use this ability twice per combat. The same check cannot benefit from battle analysis more than once. So, that is a pretty handy ability. We're going to keep that in mind. Our next choices are Tracking and Ritualistic Mind. So, Tracking. Reduce the number of actions the track action takes by 1. You may attempt to track targets who normally leave no trail, taking a penalty equal to their stealth minus your survival. This is a survival-based skill. This is very much about hunting down other creatures. We're the librarian. It's something to look at, but not necessarily what we really want to do. So we'll keep that in mind. Ritualistic Mind. Again, knowledge, occult specialty, base ability. Once per long rest, you are made. She sells seashells by the seashore. Once per long rest, you may reduce the cost of casting a ritual you know by 2 up to your mental acuity. Cannot reduce the cost of the ritual below 2. If we hit Specialist, you may instead reduce the cost of casting a ritual you know by your mental acuity. If the ritual you cast may be used more than once per day, increase the number of times it can be used by 1. That is also a very handy thing. Rituals, we will go over that far later, but rituals are basically one-shot pre-prepped items. So if I know a ritual at the beginning of the day, I would cast the ritual, and then I get an effect that I can trigger anytime I want within the next 24 hours. I can only have so many ritual effects active at one time, etc., etc. Okay. So, of the 3, Ritualistic Mind is very intriguing. If this was a character I was playing, I would probably pick Ritualistic Mind because I like versatility. And I like rituals and I like planning ahead. I like shenanigans. For this character, because again, this is a character that's geared towards a beginning player, we're going to go ahead and pick Battle Analysis. So, known merits. And our drawbacks are rigid thinking or mind over matter. Whenever you have at least 1 wound, increase the wound penalties by 1. Basically, you're so used to ignoring the needs of your body and trying to willpower your way through it that you ignore how hurt you actually are. And then rigid thinking, -2 penalty to empathy checks. Rigid thinking is the Hollywood autistic coded character, right? That's your Sheldon from Big Bang. Things are the way they are, and if they're not the way they are, they're wrong, period. For this, I am going to go with mind over matter. Because it's another thing that will help characters or players especially those that are playing characters that traditionally have lesser hit points, like a librarian style character, to really pay attention to those. So, let's do mind over matter. So, we've got our attribute, we picked our merit, and we've got our drawbacks. Enhancements are now done. So now we're going to go to culture and occupation. So, very simply, culture is how you are raised, occupation is what you currently do for a living. These are pulled from the same list. You can pick the same one both times. So you can be an academic that was raised by academics. You can also pick ones that don't seem to fit as long as you can justify it. The example I give is a character raised by 2 academic professors, so academic culture, but having a thief... I wrote that wrong. Having a thief occupation might seem counterintuitive, but that's Indiana Jones. Like, yes, he is also a professor, but most of his income, and yeah, he's a tenured professor, but most of his income comes from his tomb raiding, from his thieving. So, for this, now at this point in character creation, the cap of 3 for your skills is now removed. Your skills can go up to a max of 7. Let me make sure that popped up. Hey, Mad, welcome. Nice. Remind me, does she have rigid thinking? For some reason, I was thinking she took mind over matter for a second. She may have taken both. So for those of you who are new to the game, or new to the character creation portion of the game, when we get to the end of character creation, there is basically a freebie point section where you can take more merits and drawbacks. And I will explain that when we get to it. So, for now, we want culture and occupation. Again, this is our Door of the White Eye iconic character. So, we want to pick things that are cool, yes, but also make sense for that type of character. The one who grew up with prestige and power and money, who knows the names of their local politicians by name, that kind of thing. So, looking through, we've got academic, alchemist, animal handler. We do have a rank and ride, so animal handler may actually make sense as an occupation, but for now, arcanist is, of course, very obviously one. Doctor could work, creative could work, entrepreneur could work. Most of them could work. I am going to go with Trust Fund Kid as our first one. You're someone who is born into wealth. You cultivate an interest in the arts or other fields of knowledge. But you're a rich kid. You don't really care about any of them. You tend to dabble. Think of like your old school and old stories, the adventuring gentleman, the big game hunter who just goes from adventure to adventure and doesn't really commit to any one thing. That's that archetype. So this is going to be our culture. Now, too many fucking tabs. So, For our trust fund kid, when we select it, let's go ahead and write it here. Trust fund kid is our culture. So, we get 1 rank in 3 of the following skills, or instead of gaining any of those skill ranks, we can gain 1 knowledge focus, 1 knowledge specialty. So our options are evasiveness, knowledge, performance, persuasion, ride, and security. Now for our character, I like these. We have no ranks in evasiveness, so we want to go ahead and give them at least 1 rank. Give them something so they don't die immediately if they get targeted. Hold, please. Nope. There we go. So, looking again at our chat, we put 1 point in evasiveness. God damn it. Our other options are knowledge, which we're almost certainly going to want to put a point there. Performance, persuasion, ride, and security. Persuasion is a good secondary. So, let's do knowledge and persuasion. So our knowledge goes up to 4. And then remember, because we're at 4, we're now a specialist. And then same thing with persuasion. So again, at the specialist level, not only are you capable of using this skill to make a living day to day, but you've started branching out. You're no longer just somebody who's knowledgeable about the occult. You're a specialist in 6th century Germanic cultists. Shit like that. And so now our merits: historical practitioner, funds raiser, or preparation. So historical practitioner, this requires ferocity 3, which we do not have. Again, so 2 things. Number 1, at this point in character creation, you don't need to qualify for the merits per se. You need to qualify for them at the end of character creation, after you get those bonus points to spend. So even though our ferocity is only 2 at this point, we can very much take that historical practitioner if we wanted, and then just make a note, hey, by the end of character creation, bump this shit up to 3. If you don't qualify for the merit by the end of character creation, you lose the merit. So don't do that. That's bad. So we've got historical practitioner. We do have the specialist knowledge. We haven't chosen our specialty yet, so we could put it in history if we wanted. Also, let me explain synergy bonus real quick. Once you hit specialist level, every skill has a synergy bonus where it increases another skill. So if I have a high, if I'm a specialist in knowledge, I get a bonus to my linguistics because I've spent a lot of time working with dusty old tomes written in foreign languages. I've picked up a trick or two. You know, if I get 4 ranks in firearms and I have the shotgun specialty, shotguns are all about being the point man and breaching targets and, you know, knocking down doors. My athletics is naturally a little better because of all the training I did with a shotgun. That kind of thing. That's what a synergy bonus is. So with Historical Practitioner, when you take this merit, choose either melee or firearms, you add your history synergy bonus to attack checks when using the appropriate weapon. Basically, you've studied the historical uses of firearms or historical melee, you're a HEMA or martial arts enthusiast, you get your history synergy bonus to using those weapons. You can choose this merit more than once, but each time you do, you must select a different category. So, that's interesting, but we're not really seeing this character as the let's get into the thick of things. So, our other options are funds raiser and preparation. So preparation, while in navigation mode, which the beginner box will feature, you may add your perception synergy bonus to your rolls check for the day. Requires Resolve 3, Specialist Perception. Our Resolve is only 2, and we have no ranks in Perception. So, for the moment, we're going to skip that one pretty fucking hard. Our other option was funds raiser. So, Resolve 4, Rookie Persuasion. While a part of any buildings project in stratagem mode, all salary you contribute to the cost of the building is increased by half, round down. You're really good at getting other people to donate their fair share. Our resolve, again, is low, but of the 3, this most fits what we've been doing. We already have the rookie persuasion, so what we're going to do is mark that there. And just make a note for ourselves, needs +2 resolve. So, we picked our skill, we picked our merit, our salary bonus increase is +6. I will explain salary a little bit more later. For now, just know that it's 6. And no other comments. Cool. So now, what our character was born in the lap of luxury. What do we want them to do for a living? Well, we already know they're very knowledgeable. Let's go, and they're part of what is essentially the magical Illuminati. So let's go ahead and stick with that theme and go with Arcanist. They're someone that specialized in using magic, the study and practice of magic. Again, in the lore of the Shattered World, magic is concentrated in family lines. This is the fire magic family. This is the air magic family. This is the make shit out of metal family, etc. So, again, skills. We can either gain 1 rank in 3 skills or a knowledge specialty. Now, why would we ever want a knowledge specialty over 3 skill ranks? Because a knowledge specialty costs 5. 5 XP. So, it may be handy to get this during character creation rather than an additional +1. We're not going to. So, with this, we already have ranks in craft. Now first, let's look at our merits. Claimed by the family, Blade of Two Worlds, Arcane Exploration. Let's look at what we're going to be picking here, because that will determine where we want to put our skills, or if we do want that knowledge focus. So, claimed by the families, requires mental acuity 3, which we have, and specialist in knowledge. Very simply, it gives you a +1 bonus to knowledge checks and a bonus to your salary. In lore, a lot of people, when they become enhanced, they're immediately disowned. You can't use magic anymore, you're worthless. Get out. Despite being enhanced, you've maintained your official recognition as a member of one of the families, with all the power and responsibility that comes with it. So this is a strong contender, despite being a very simple merit. There's also Arcane Exploration. This requires Mental Acuity 2, which we have, Specialist in Knowledge, which we have, and we haven't chosen our focus yet, so we could put it in Nature. While in the Explorer role in Navigation mode, add your Synergy bonus from the Nature Focus skill to your check. So basically, this is a +2 check. That's handy. Blade of Two Worlds. Ferocity 4 we do not have. Rookie Knowledge we have, and Focus Occult we could. Blade of Two Worlds basically allows you to modify your weapon to do additional occult damage. Occult is a damage type similar to fire damage, electric damage, etc. For those of you familiar with Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder, occult damage is roughly equivalent to force damage. To get in that mindset. It's not exactly the same, but it's raw magical force rather than a flavor of it. Again, our character, if they're engaging in combat, they've done something wrong. So, they're going to be the ones who tend to give other people bonuses or figure shit out about the enemy to make them weaker. So we're going to stick with Blade of Two Worlds. God. We are not going to go with Blade of Two Worlds. Instead, we're going to pick up Claimed by the Families. And again, this was a +1 bonus to our knowledge checks, and a +1 bonus to our salary. So we've got our merits. And then just to verify, yeah, we don't need to do anything for that. So, Craft, Firearms, Intimidate, Knowledge, Linguistics, Melee. We'll pick Knowledge. We'll pick Firearms. And then let's go ahead and give us a single rank in Intimidate. So firearms, a single rank in Intimidate, and then knowledge. So our knowledge is now 5 for a total of 6. Our evasiveness is 1. We're at rookie level. Our intimidate is 1. We're at the rookie level. Everything else looks good for now. And then our salary bonus is +4. So our salary goes from 7 to 11. And that is our occupation picked. So organization we've already chosen. We're going to be, this is the Ardor of the White Eye character. So our bonus attribute is acuity. Oops. Let's close that for now. We don't need it. So organization. Our bonus skill is knowledge. And then our merits that we can choose from are whatever it costs, wealth of magic, and political influence. So whatever it costs, when utilizing a ritual or destiny ability, either if it's a ritual, increase the ritual cost by 2. If it's a destiny, spend wealth equal to the destiny ability's tier, representing rare and costly materials used to boost power. Doing so increases the range of the ability and any healing or damage done by half, minimum 1. Requires Ardor of the White Eye, which we have. Specialist Knowledge, which we have. Focus Occult, we haven't picked our focus yet. And then our salary is 8 or above. So basically this will allow us to spend wealth to hit harder. It's very handy. It can very much burn through your wealth, no pun intended, but it's something to look at. There's also wealth of magic. So rookie craft, which we have. Focus, pharmaceutical, or chemical, we haven't chosen yet. Organization, Ardor of the White Eye. Again, we meet all the prerequisites for this. When you take this merit, choose pharmaceutical or chemical. When using a crafting project to make an item of the appropriate tag, gain a +2 bonus. In addition, you may increase the cost by 2. If you do, increase the effects of the item by half, minimum 1 round down. You may take this merit more than once. Each time you do, you choose a different focus. Basically, because of your wealth and access to exotic resources, you're able to develop unique potions and consumables. Very roughly, pharmaceuticals tend to be healing items, chemicals tend to be destructive items. So again, if you're used to D&D, Pathfinder, those style games, healing potion, acid flask. Very simply. So, I like wealth of magic. I like whatever it costs. And then political influence. We are at a specialist in persuasion. Vernacular just means in order to use this merit, we have to talk to somebody and they have to be able to understand what we're saying. Resolve 3. Technically our resolve is only 2, but we've already got to increase it to 4 because of our other merit. Families are well known for their political connections, and the Ardor has inherited them. You gain a +2 bonus for all persuasion and intimidate checks made to influence government leaders and workers. This is very handy. I am, again, because this is a beginner character, we want to make it viable without making it overly complicated for new people. I really like political influence for that. So, we're going to pick political influence. Now, at this point, I am going to... I went black for a second. Alright, and it's back. So, I am going to disappear for just a minute. I am going to change the screen over to the coming soon screen. I will be back in 5 minutes. Everybody enjoy your 5-minute break. Be right back.
In the still night, whispers float. In the quiet, heartbeat slow. No clash, no roar, just silence. In the shadows, battles won. I see through foggy veils. No swords to raise, no cries to wail. Victory's touching ghostly hue. Darkness glows a pale blue. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Creeping through the twisted wood. Echo shards where warriors stood. Just a breath, just a wish. No more war, no final fist. Wisdom whispers in the night. Strength in peace, no need to fight. Witness walk in soft embrace. No battle scars, no deadly taste. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease.
Whispers in the dead night fire, broken dreams and twisted wire. Darkness feeds on fierce desire, shadows creep, the flames grow higher. Moonlit graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed. Now my strength they can't avoid. Living as I'm forced to destroy. I suppose the blood they crave, spirits risen from the grave, clawing beasts the souls they save. I'll be fighting till I cave. Monsters hiding in my fears, bloody masks and deadly leers, fending off the painful jeers. Victory drowning in my tears. Battle cries and black and void, demons that I once graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams, echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries in black and void, demons that I once enjoyed, now my strength they can't avoid. Living past, I'm forced to destroy, to destroy, to destroy, to destroy, to destroy, to destroy.
Shadows crawl from the grave, whisper secrets dark and brave, eyes that pierce into the night. Monsters come, we must fight. Candles flicker, casting dread. Ghostly wails fill my head, chasing demons lost in time. Sanity a steep climb. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Echoes of sins long past, fighting shadows deep and vast. Blood-stained blade in hand, stand your ground, make a stand. Cursed whispers fill the air, spirits cry, beware, beware. Through the fog and through the flame, monsters here know my name. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Echoes of sins long past, fighting shadows deep and vast. Bloodstained blade in hand, stand your ground, make a stand. Cursed whispers fill the air, spirits cry, beware, beware. Through the fog and through the flame, monsters here know my name. Silent screams, hearts break, nightmares come.
All right, we are back. I apologize for that. I hope y'all enjoyed the break. Screen should be popping back up in just a minute. All right, looks like it has. So, we picked up political influence. Let's go back to organizations. So we've got our mental acuity, we've got our bonus to knowledge, we've picked our merit. And then we start at rank 1 initiate. Keep this in mind. We can pick this up for some XP later XP and wealth later. Basically, organization ranks determines how important you are within the organization, and it gives you some mechanical buffs. There are improved versions of the organization merits, etc., etc. So, too many tabs. Is it Acolyte? Initiate. So we've got our organization picked. Destinies. So again, destiny abilities are basically the spells, quote unquote, of the Shattered World. We can choose any destiny we want. Right now we're limited to a tier 1 destiny. In order to get a tier 2 destiny, you need at least 2 ranks, or at least 2 destiny abilities of the previous tier. God, I can't speak tonight. So, if I want a rank 4 destiny ability in the Lovers, I need to have already picked up 2 tier 3 Lovers abilities. If I want a tier 3, I need to have picked up 2 tier 2, etc., etc. So again, our character is someone that knows shit. We figure things out. So looking through, we've got the Lovers. We've got None Shall Keep Us Apart, which is Resolve plus Empathy. Our Resolve is going to be solid. Our Empathy is okay. And we can make a target lose actions on their next turn. So that's good denial. Grace of Love. Increase your agility and your target's agility by 2. Also improve your evasiveness if you're a specialty. Or additional reflexive actions. That's again very good. Scorn by the Heart applies penalties. That's solid. All of these work for our character. See the cycle's end. When you're hit by a successful attack, instead treat it as a failure. Glimpse the future path. You glimpse a possible future where you've become skilled in a task. For the next minute, you're treated as if you had 5 ranks in that skill. And then Carrion Bugs. Right now, we don't have Knowledge Biology. That reminds me, we do need to put down our specialty. No, we don't yet. Because none of these require us to. So we're going to do that at the end. Where were we? Destinies. Thank you. So looking through, some that I personally like. Judgment. Increases our damage with weapon attacks if we take Smite the Unbelievers. That really isn't our thing. Face the Music. Gives us a bonus to our allies and a penalty to our enemies. We don't have ranks in Perform, but we can always put some ranks there. Summon Death's Avatar. Gives us an undead avatar of death. That's a little redundant, but you get what I mean. It has attributes equal to, or proportional to our Resolve, and has ranks in Unarmed, Evasiveness, and Intimidation equal to half your ranks in Knowledge Theology. So this basically gives us a little minion buddy. That's really solid for us. We can also look at the Magician. Burning Air is just a handy ability. Keep in mind, for Burning Air, you need line of sight, not necessarily line of effect. By that I mean, I'm standing inside, they're standing outside. I'm looking at them through a window that's closed. I can still see them, line of sight. There's a closed window, no line of effect. I just point and they catch on fire. I can still hit them with this, where I couldn't hit them with, say, a gun. without breaking the window. So Burning Air is solid. Dispelling Stance will let me remove active destiny, supernatural abilities, or ritual effects from the target. That's really handy, but it requires us to hit them. And then Leyline Draw, I can reduce my endurance by 1, gain a destiny point. That's good for certain builds. We cannot support that. So, I think we are going to go with the Magician. And we are going to pick up Burning Air, which means we are going to want to finally write down our specialty as Occult. So we've got Burning Air, and then every time you gain a Destiny ability, you gain 1 Destiny point. Now, drawbacks, we are going to skip drawbacks for now. The important thing to remember is that regardless of how many... So, merits cost points and give you abilities. Drawbacks give you XP, but also apply penalties to things you can do. So, a drawback would be like, I have a limp. My right arm is missing. I am partially blind in one eye. Things like that. I never learned how to read. Right now, we're going to skip the drawbacks. The important thing to remember is that even though you can theoretically take any amount of drawbacks you want, you can take all of them. Go ahead, it's your character. You can only gain a max of 12 XP from drawbacks. As you can play, most drawbacks can be removed. You can spend some XP and learn how to read. You can spend some wealth in XP and learn how, or purchase a prosthetic leg and use how to walk with it nearly as good as your regular one. If you do that, the standard cost to remove a flaw is double the XP it gives you. The narrator may impose further non-XP costs as appropriate. Examples include surgery and medical care to reattach and grow accustomed to a new limb, or a quest to appease an ancient deity who cursed your bloodline, etc. Alright. So again, we're going to skip that for now. Spending XP. We have 20 XP to spend. This is in addition to any XP gained from drawbacks. So you can potentially have 32 XP to spend. Attributes cost 4 XP. So the very first thing we want to do we have 20 XP to spend. We're going to spend 8 of it. And go up to Resolve 4. So, Destiny abilities. Destinies cost 5 times the tier containing the talent you're buying. So, if I want to buy a tier 1 Destiny, it's 5 XP. If I want to buy a tier 2 Destiny, it's 10 XP. I like the idea of getting a second Destiny, and I will explain why in a few. We've already gone over them. We're going to pick up Dispelling Stance, because Leyline Draw just does not work with this character. So we're going to spend a further 5 XP. dropping down to 7 XP remaining. And we're going to pick up, oops, Dispelling Stance. And again, our destiny points go up to 2. One of the things I would highly recommend, just for layout purposes, if you've watched some of our streams where we've talked about stabilizing and closing tears, you'll know that resonance is something important. Basically, how many destiny abilities within a specific destiny you have. So to make things easier, on this second line, put your destiny abilities, Burning Air, Dispelling Stance. Up here, put your resonance. We have 2 abilities in the Magician Destiny. We have a resonance of the Magician 2. If we had picked up that other destiny ability in the Fool, it would be the Magician 1, the Fool 1. And you can do that. There is nothing that says once you pick the Magician, you have to stay in the Magician. Or once you pick Strength, you have to stay in Strength. Pick what fits your character. So at this point, we are at 7 XP. There is a merit I want to point out. So Starlight Trained. Right now, basically, you attend one of the prestigious schools of the Starlight Network for training as a new Enhanced. This does not mean you have to be part of the Starlight Networks. Your contract was picked up either by Starlight Networks or another organization. So basically, because of our family contacts, because of our ties with the Ardor of the White Eye, they could afford to send us to a school to learn how to be the best possible Enhanced we could. Reduce your wealth for character creation by half. Normally what happens is we would take our salary, double it, and that's how much money we get to spend for character creation. We won't double it. Merits. If you lost more than or less than 5 wealth from this, start with 1 additional Tier 1 Destiny ability of your choice. If you lost 5 or more, which we will be, you start with 1 additional Tier 1 or Tier 2 Destiny ability of your choice. You must meet all prerequisites for the Destiny ability chosen. This merit can only be taken at character creation. So, attributes only cost 3 XP. So basically, rather than spending 10 XP to get a Tier 2 Destiny ability, we're spending 3 XP and 11 wealth. Is that painful? Yes. Very much so. But this gives us additional Destiny points, additional Destiny abilities, and it will give us additional XP, which I will go over in a minute with calculated stats. So, let's go ahead and spend our 3 XP, dropping us to 4. We're going to pick... Oops. We're going to pick Starlight Trained. And then under Tarot, our options are Overload. You cause electricity to arc from various devices on your body to the target, automatically dealing 3 electric damage. In addition, make a mental acuity plus craft electronics check. Again, we haven't picked our craft specialty yet. versus the target's endurance plus athletics. If you succeed, they get stunned 1 for 1 turn. Or stunned 2, or they get stunned 1 regardless of if they fail or succeed. Stunned reduces the number of actions they get. There's Ground the Flow, which is a refinement and improvement upon our Dispelling stance. This lets us get a bonus to our defensive check. Which is, again, not flashy, but very handy. And then Destiny You Took From Me. Choose one weapon that you're holding in your hands. Arcane Power floods your ability. You may use your ranks in knowledge in place of the normal weapon skill when using the chosen weapon. Although this does not give you access to basic synergy or pinnacle abilities. You can use the gun, but you don't gain any of the special abilities for it. In addition, all successful attacks do 1 additional point of occult damage. This requires Knowledge Specialist and Occult Focus, both of which we have. If you reach the Pinnacle of Knowledge, this was a typo, this should say Specialist, not Pinnacle. You gain access to the basic and specialist abilities for this weapon. This is very handy. Of the 3, Overload is good. This will randomly give us 4 turns where we're solid with a weapon, which is nice. It's handy. This will just straight out let us kill people. So we are going to go with Overload for now. All right, one moment. All right. Oh, well, cool. So we've got that picked. We've got 4 XP left. Raising an attribute is 4 XP. So we're very simply just going to raise mental acuity. We now have a character that is superhumanly smart. They're lacking in others, but they've also got solid resolve. Our destiny points are now 3. They've got a nice suite of destiny abilities that can help change the course of battle. They've got some good talking abilities and some good identifying trouble abilities. So this is not a person that ends combats themselves, but they can provide some solid assistance. Now, calculated stats. Stamina. Your base stamina is equal to your endurance. And then depending on what tarot destinies you took, each one has its own stamina score. For each talent you have in that destiny, gain that much stamina. So, again, we did the Magician. We took 3 destiny abilities. We gained 2 stamina per destiny ability. So, at character creation, we are rocking endurance of 1. Our stamina is 7. And then we have our wound track. Actions. Oh. Destiny points. You gain 1 destiny point for every destiny ability you have. We've already done that. Salary. Your salary score is equal to your ranks in profession. We have no ranks in profession. Plus your salary score increase. We've already determined that's 11. Plus your organization status, which is 1. Plus any other bonuses from merits or other sources. So, we're just going to go back real quick and make sure we're not missing anything. We did Arcanist, which is 4. We did Trust Fund Kid, which is 6. So 10. Claimed by the families makes that 11. Rank 1 in Ardor of the White Eye makes that 12. So we've got salary done, speed. Base 4 squares per action. For every point of agility you have, plus 1 square. So, our agility is 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. Evasions. Your evasions are set to your ranks in evasiveness, minimum 1. Our evasiveness is 1. You gain 1 reaction per turn. Actions per turn in tactical mode, which is the generic mode, is based on your ferocity. Our ferocity is 2. So we gain 2 actions per turn. Now, buying gear. We are not going to go through this tonight. I will handle that later. This is just to serve as a quick whatever. Again, once you're used to character creation, it can take 10-15 minutes. We have spent an hour and a half on one character because I've been taking the time to break down what everything means, going through it, etc. We only have a few minutes more before I start the raid. So, at this point, I am going to skip the gear buying. We just need to remember we don't double our wealth because we picked up Starlight Trained. Our stamina is good. Athletics is nothing. Demolitions is nothing. Evasiveness is correct. Intimidate and leadership are correct. So, firearm specialty, craft specialty. For craft, we know we need to pick electronics. And for firearms, our options are shotguns, small arms, like pistols, long arms, rifles, or exotic firearms, grenade launchers, flamethrowers. Of these, we are probably going to go with just the sweet and simple pistol, handguns. Handguns have modifications like silencers. They also tend to have bonuses to evasiveness, which we will very much want. Even with our 7 XP, that can still go away fairly quickly. So that is what we're going to want. Electronics will allow us to make a lot of different armor modifications and computer parts and things like that fairly easily. We're a specialist in persuasion. We're damn near reached the pinnacle of knowledge. We can do some basic healing. We can shoot things if we absolutely have to. Empathy, So again, our specialty is knowing shit and persuading people to do shit. We've got a couple other little things we can do. We're the knowing guy. So let's go ahead and delete these. I will add these later. So, at this point, again, I don't have anybody in chat, so normally I would do the raid, but we don't have anyone to raid with. So, our next session will be tomorrow. For Bitey's Breaks, we will be continuing with Claire Obscure. Tomorrow, Tuesday, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for hanging out, checking us out. Y'all take care, be safe, and I will talk to you next time. Have a good